Hello everyone. In this video, we will be covering revision test papers and mock test papers of the previous years for CA Foundation. Okay. We will begin with May 2018 revision test papers and then we will continue till May or June 2023. Okay. So, please take out the printout. PDF has already been attached and please write the answers with me. Now, the first question we have is from May 2018 RTP. Accrual concept implies accounting on cash basis. Obviously false, it does not imply accounting on cash basis, but it implies accounting on due basis. Okay, so we will write here false, as accrual basis or accrual concept implies accounting on due basis. Okay, it involves, please do not just watch the video, please take the printout and write answers with me. Okay, it involves recognition of revenue and cost as and when they accrue, irrespective of actual receipts and payments. Actual receipts and payments. What does it mean? See, understand. If I have spent money on salaries to employees or something, okay, so even if I have not paid the salary to my employees, but still I can write in my books of accounts in profit and loss to salary here as my expense. Why? Because I have already taken the benefit of the expense. I have not just paid the expense. It means I am supposed to pay. It means for me expense is already due. I am already supposed to pay the money. Understood? So for me salary payment is already due because I have taken the benefit. That is what accountancy says. Understood? Now, after that, the sales book is kept to record both cash and credit sales. We know that sales book will not record cash sale. It records only and only credit sales. Okay. So we will write here, it is false. The sales book is a register, or you can write is a journal specially kept to record credit sale of goods only. Okay, of goods dealt in normal course of business. Why we have mentioned the word only credit sale of goods? Because if it is credit sale of fixed asset, it will again come in the general journal. Okay, it will not come in the sales book. Only credit sale of goods. Credit sale of goods means those goods which are taken in the normal course of business, means which is the main business of our company. Understood? Now after that, bank reconciliation statement is prepared to arrive at the bank balances. It is absolutely false because it is prepared. I will write because BRS is prepared to reconcile and explain the reasons, or you can say explain the causes of difference between bank balance as per cash book and bank balance as per passbook, that is bank statement as on particular date. भाई क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है? क्वेश्चन बोल रहा है वी प्रिपेयर बीआरएस टू अराइव एट बैंक बैलेंस. एब्सोल्युटली नॉट. वी प्रिपेयर बीआरएस टू नो द रीजंस ऑफ द डिफरेंस दैट according to me if my bank balance is 50,000, according to my bank manager or according to my bank statement suppose my balance is 45,000, so we are preparing BRS to understand the difference of that 5,000. Understood? Now after this, finished goods are normally valued at cost or market price, whichever is higher. They have given absolutely false, because it is finished goods are normally valued at cost or market price, whichever is lower. Okay, we have learned this in our accounting standard 2, which says valuation of inventory. Now point number E we have here is reducing balance method of depreciation. See, reducing balance method, you can say, they can say written down value method, they can also say diminishing value method, everything is same only. Okay, going to the point number E, we have reducing balance method of depreciation is followed to have a uniform charge for depreciation and repairs and maintenance together. See, mark it, very important. Okay, see, very important, please understand. Reducing balance method means what? It means that diminishing the depreciation every year is decreasing. See, if suppose I have 1 lakh rupees asset, first year depreciation will be 10,000, then we will remove this, it will become 90,000 cost, again from it will be 9,000, because we are charging on the cost what we are getting after removing depreciation, so the depreciation amount will reduce. But understand what question is asking. It is asking reducing balance method of depreciation is followed to have a uniform charge for depreciation and repairs and maintenance together. See, what they are saying, that depreciation will fall each and every year. Suppose depreciation were first 10,000, then it will be 9,000, then it will be 8,500, then it will be 7,000, and then in the next year it will be 6,000. Suppose we are taking these amounts, okay, for depreciation and repairs and maintenance together. Now assume that we have purchased a new machinery. Okay, you also know that in the first few years the money spent for repairs and maintenance will be very low. You can say around that, okay, we would have spent 1,000 rupees on the repairs for the first year. Next year again I can say for the next year I would have spent 2,000 rupees. Okay, but again in the third year what would have happened? You can say in third year if I say 3,500 rupees are spent, again in fourth year 4,000 rupees, because as the machinery, as the fixed asset is getting older and older, because we are using it every day, so every year the amount of money spent for repairs and maintenance will increase, the depreciation will reduce, the repairs and maintenance will increase. So they want to say, because these both the amounts will be appearing in the profit and loss statement, so it will provide a uniform charge. How uniform charge? See, what will be the total for the first year? 10,000 depreciation, 1,000 repairs, so total will be 11,000. Again next year depreciation 9, repairs increasing 2, so again 11,000. Again 8,000 and 3,000, 9, 10, 11. Okay, it is 12,000. Make it 2,500. It will be 11,000 again. Like that, what they want to say, that the money we are spending for the machinery, we are charging it to profit and loss. And because we want to charge a uniform charge, it means the amount we want in the profit and loss is equal or uniform. That's why it is better to use reducing balance method. And that's why the statement is absolutely true, that reducing balance method provides a uniform charge. Suppose you can also think like that, suppose if we are using straight line method, so every year it will be suppose 7,000 depreciation, but in the first year repairs will be 1,000, next year 2,000, then next year 3,000. Now think about the profit and loss. First year 8,000, then 9,000, then 10,000. The expense in the profit and loss will be increasing and increasing every year. That is what the problem with straight line method. Okay, now the statement is true. You can write here in the, see, whatever answer we are writing, they are provided by ICAI only. Okay, in the early periods of useful life of a fixed asset, repairs and maintenance are relatively low because the asset is new. Obviously भाई asset नया है तो starting के period में तो बहुत कम खर्च होंगे repair पे, whereas in later periods, the asset becomes old and repairs and maintenance expense increases continuously. Understood? So you can write, therefore, depreciation and repair and maintenance expense becomes more or less. We are writing more or less because they are not exactly same. In our example, we took exactly same figure of 11,000, but they are more or less same, 11,000, 11,200, or might be 10,700, like that. But the focus is to give uniform charge in the profit and loss. Okay, more or less uniform throughout the useful life of asset. Okay, now after that, discount at the time of retirement of a bill is a gain for the drawing. Absolutely true. So you will write here, a true discount is gain for the drawing and loss for the drawer. Now after that, a withdrawal of cash from the business by the proprietor should be charged to profit and loss account as an expense. Absolutely blunder. Why? Because whatever money withdrawn by the proprietor, that is drawings. Drawings will not appear in profit and loss statement. It will appear in the balance sheet. We remove drawings from our owner's capital. Okay. So the amount is false. The answer is false because cash withdrawal by the proprietor from his business should be treated as his drawings, which is not a business expense. Therefore, such drawings should be deducted from the owner's, or you can say proprietor's capital. Proprietor's capital. Okay. Now, the next question is, partners can share profit or loss in their capital ratio when there is no agreement. Oh my God. When there is no agreement, what does our partnership act says? It says you cannot use capital ratio. It should be distributed equally. So the statement is false. You have to write here that according to Partnership Act, partners, in the absence of partnership agreement or in the absence of any agreement to the contrary, भाई अगर कोई भी तरह का अग्रीमेंट नहीं किया हुआ है तो प्रॉफिट्स एंड लॉसेस are to be shared equally among partners. Okay, remember this, you have to share equally. Okay, now after this, point number I, we have receipt and payment accounts highlights total income and expenditure. Oh my God, it doesn't highlight total income and expenditure, but it classifies summary of cash receipts and cash payments. See, the name itself tells the answer, okay? Receipt and payment. What do you mean by receipt and payment? The cash received and the cash paid. Why will it tell you the total income and expenditure? Because total income and expenditure is calculated from accrual basis, not from cash basis, okay? If they say that total income and expenditure, if the company is following cash basis of accounting, then income and expenditure and receipt and payment account will be exactly same, okay? But if they are not saying, it means it classifies summaries of cash receipt and payment, so you cannot say that it is highlighting total income and expenditure. It classifies summary of cash receipt and cash payment, the statement is false. Now, so you can write one more line here for cash payment for a certain period together with opening and closing balance of cash. That is what our receipt and payment account represents, okay? Now, it does not represent income and expenditure. You can also add a line here, receipt and payment account does not present or does not highlight total income and expenditure, okay? Now, debenture interest is payable after the payment of preference dividend, but before the payment of equity dividend. Absolutely wrong. See, the first preference will be to pay debenture interest, okay? After debenture interest, you will pay preference dividend. After preference dividend, if there is anything left, then you will write equity dividend, okay? Always remember this. The first preference will be debenture interest only. So the statement is false, and you will write here debenture interest is payable before the payment of any dividend, okay? Any kind of dividend on shares, okay? You have to pay debenture interest first. You will pay the outsider first before paying the insider, okay? Always remember this. The next is fixed asset turnover ratio indicates the firm's ability of generating sales per rupee of long-term investment. Oh my God, not long-term investment, but fixed assets. You cannot say it is long-term investment. No, the statement is false because fixed asset turnover ratio measures the efficiency with which the firm uses its fixed assets. See, what is question saying? Question is saying ability of generating sales per rupee from long-term investment. No, fixed asset turnover ratio says ability of generating sales per rupee from fixed assets. Okay, understood? The focus is on fixed asset and not on the long-term investment. Then, which the firm uses its fixed assets? Capital turnover ratio indicates the firm's ability of generating. See, this line what we are writing, this is extra only, okay? Because we are writing capital turnover ratio indicates the firm's ability of generating sales per rupee of long-term investment. If you remember this, you can write this, or else it is not required, okay? This point from capital to here. Why? Because we are just telling that what definition you have given, that is wrong, and this is the right definition. Understood? Now, after this has been our May 2018. Next we will solve November 2018. Check. November 2018, first question we have here is, net income in case of persons practicing vocation is determined by preparing profit and loss account. Now, remember this. When I am saying net income in case of person practicing vocation, what does it mean? It means the person who are in service industry, okay, who are employed somewhere. Check. First question we have here is, net income in case of person practicing vocation is determined by preparing profit and loss account. So we know that vocation is service. The person who is employed, for him you do not prepare profit and loss account. For him you always prepare income and expenditure account. Okay. Now the statement is false and we will write here, net income is determined by preparing income and expenditure account in case of persons practicing vocation. Understood? Now after this, the second point we have here is the second question. The problem of reading interest arises when the due date of a transaction falls after the closing date of account current. Absolutely true, as we know that no interest is allowed when the due date of bill falls after the date of closing the account. However, interest from the date of closing to such date is written in, we all know it is written in red ink in the appropriate side, okay, in the appropriate side of where? Account current. चलो उसके बाद क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, consignment account is of nature of real account. No, consignment account is not of nature of real account. It is nominal and personal, you can say. So false. Consignment account is a nominal cum personal account. Now see, these all questions are very basics. If the basics are very strong, no, you will never get disturbed by these kind of questions, okay. If you want to please improve your fundamentals, so we have already published a series for the fundamentals of accountancy, you can go and check, okay. Now point number 4 we have here is, the balance in petty cash book represents an asset. Absolutely true, because the balance represents, what does it represent? It represents the cash which is physically in existence and therefore it is an asset, okay. Now stock at the end, if appears in the trial balance, is taken only to the balance sheet. See, stock at the end, what they are talking about is, they are talking about closing stock, and if it is appearing in the trial balance, we know whatever is appearing in the trial balance, we post it only at one place, either trading and P&L or in the balance sheet. If closing stock appears outside the trial balance, we know we have to post it in the trading account also by closing stock, then that closing stock will appear in the balance sheet in the current assets. Understood? So we will write here absolutely true, because it depicts that one aspect of double entry has been completed, because it is already appearing in the trial balance. Understood? We already have given a video for trial balance. If you want to get a detailed knowledge about why this closing stock and what is happening in the trial balance, you can please go and check there. Okay. Then point number 6, in case a sports fund is kept, expense on account of sports event should be charged to sports fund. Absolutely true. See, whenever you have already given a fund for something, okay, if sports fund is given, then expense related to that, income related to that, you can directly post in that fund account. Okay, so it is true, institutions sometimes keep special funds for special purposes. In such a case, the income or expense related to such funds, what should we do with the income? You will add it. Related to such funds should be added, and if they are expenses, then reduced from such funds. Simple. Now, 7th question we have, salary paid in advance is not an expense because it neither reduces assets nor increases liability. Understand this. I have already paid the salary. Okay. From this, it is obviously it is not an expense because it is not reducing the asset. Obviously, it is not reducing my any asset, right? So, and it is not increasing my liability also because I have paid the salary in advance. So, it will not reduce my asset, it will increase my asset. Understood? So, we will write here. That's why it is not an expense, and the statement is absolutely true because salary paid in advance relates to next accounting period. I am writing the short forms here due to some space constraint. Please, you do not write the short forms. Okay. It has nothing to do with, or it is not important. I am just telling you it has nothing to do with any relation with the current year. Okay. It is just that we have just paid in the current year. You can write it is not taken or in the P&L account as an expense because it is shown as current asset in balance sheet. Understood? This is what salary paid in advance means. It increases the asset. Remember one more thing. It is just I am telling you in our exam only two short forms are allowed. First is debit and credit. Another one is you can write this account. Okay. And no short form is allowed. You can write account like AC. P&L you have to write the complete word profit and loss account. Okay. Only these short forms are allowed and nothing else. Now after this, the 7th we have here is laboratory and library deposits taken from the students in case of an educational institution are shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. Obviously true, you can write here because see, why do they take deposit from students in the schools or education institute? These are, you can say, these are just the security deposits. Understood? So you can write because the laboratory and library deposits are of nature of security deposits, and they are just security deposit. Okay, education institution has to refund that amount at later period of time, obviously, which is to be refunded to the students while leaving their educational institution. सिंपल. चलो आगे बढ़े. आगे बढ़ो सर, आगे बढ़ो. चलो, May 2019. The first question says, the results and position disclosed by final accounts are not exact. See, it is absolutely true because they are prepared on the basis of assumptions. Okay, now we will write here true. They are prepared on the basis of assumption, conventions, concepts, and personal judgments of the person who prepares them. Say for example, if I purchase fixed asset or say machinery, and I am saying that useful life of this machinery will be only 7 years, and my competitor also purchased that fixed asset and he is thinking that the useful life will only be 5 years. So the depreciation every year charged to profit and loss will be different for both of us. While we have purchased the same machinery, still there is a difference because we have taken different useful life. Okay, so that is our assumption, and obviously final accounts will obviously differ. So that's why we are saying that results disclosed by final accounts are not exact. Understood? Next we have is the rationale behind the opening of suspense accounts is to tally the trial balance. See, it is obviously not to tally the trial balance. Okay, it is not that if the trial balance is not telling, you can just open the suspense account. The statement is false. The rationale behind the opening of a suspense account is to avoid the delay in the preparation of financial statements, or you can say final accounts. See, understand, the company prepares the trial balance. After that they prepare trading P&L and balance sheet. If trial balance will not tally, they will not be able to prepare the final accounts. That's why just for some particular time, some temporary period of time, they will tally their trial balance and put the suspense account. Understood? As soon as they prepare financial statement, they just give one unaudited statement. Okay, or you can say just one temporary, so that the users, the owners will know, okay, these are the problems and this is the overall picture. They do not, obviously are not giving the final picture. They will obviously find some reason, find the exact reason why a trial balance is not telling, but just to complete everything once, so that they know the overall picture. That's why they are saying that we will tally it with suspense account as of now. After that we will find the reason of why trial balance is not telling. Understood? This is what happens in the practical life. Now point number 3 says reducing balance method is followed to have a uniform charge. It is exactly same, we have already discussed. Accounting can be viewed as an information system which has its input, processing method and output. Obviously, now the answer is true. You can write here accounting is a process of identifying, measuring and communicating information to permit informed judgment and decisions. भाई अकाउंट्स का काम ही यही है, to help in judgment and decisions. Understood? It covers the preparation of financial statements and communication to users of accounts. Now after this, the value of human resource is generally shown as assets in the balance sheet. See, accounting till date, they are not valuing the human resource. Okay, the employees what are they working in the office, we are not valuing human resource in the accountancy. Okay, the statement is false because the value of human resource cannot be measured in monetary terms, therefore it will not be shown in the balance sheet. Understood? Now, point number 6. The financial statement must disclose all the relevant and reliable information in accordance with the full disclosure principle. See, this is what our accounting standard 1 also says, okay, that whatever information you are disclosing, you have to disclose everything related to that, whatever entry you have disclosed, whatever are the effects of those assumption, everything. So it is true, the FS, the financial statement, must disclose all the relevant and reliable information in accordance with the full disclosure principle. It is exactly same. Now, 7th is the debit notes issued are used to prepare sales return book. Oh my god, it is obviously false, because the debit notes issued are used to prepare purchase return books. Okay, purchase return books. Debit notes are for purchase return. See, it is very simple. If you just forget, no, purchases are debited. So when you are preparing debit note, it is for purchase return only. I remember it like this only. Okay, it is very easy just to remember for the exam. Okay, but behind it, obviously, there is a theory. I have already explained it in the series number 2 when I discussed journal and ledger. Okay, you can go and check. Now, after that, in account current, reading interest is treated as negative interest. Obviously, it is negative interest only. You will write the answer true in case the due date of a bill, we have already written it, of a bill falls after closing the account, then no interest is allowed for that period. However, interest from the date of closing to such date is written in red ink in appropriate side of the account current. Okay, we have already written this answer. I am just telling you because these are few questions from that particular chapter which will be obviously same in many of the RTPs. Okay, so please make a habit and write the answer so you that will remember it. Next is a tallied trial balance means that the books of accounts have been prepared as per accepted accounting principles. See, you cannot say that they have been prepared as per accepted accounting principle because tallied trial balance is just a game of debit and credit. Okay, so you will write it false. Trial balance only checks the, remember this is very important, it only checks the arithmetical accuracy of the books. Error of principal and error of commission will not affect the agreement of trial balance. See, rectification of errors includes error of principal and error of commission. If you know thoroughly about these errors, you will know that the entry we are passing, the debit and credit entry, the debit and credit side will obviously tell you because we are passing the journal entry. Even if it is wrong, still the sides will match, and that is what trial balance says. Trial balance will just match the debit total and credit total. Okay. Now, to learn more about rectification, or if you just want to revise it, you can check our videos where we have covered rectification within 2 hours. Okay. Now, with so many capsules also. Next RTP we have here is November 2019. That is, first question says, goods worth 600 rupees taken by the proprietor for personal use should be credited to the capital account. See, you cannot credit it directly to the capital account. First, you have to debit it to drawings and then credit to purchases. If you remember, in trading account, when you used to write it to purchases, from here you used to remove here goods withdrawn by the proprietor. Okay, the entry we pass here is drawings to purchases. So capital account will not be credited. What will be credited? Drawings account debit to purchases, because he is withdrawing the goods. So the obviously it is false, because goods taken or withdrawn by the proprietor for personal use should be credited to परचेज अकाउंट. अरे सिंपल, अरे समझा कि नहीं नालायक. मेरे साथ साथ लिखना आंसर्स, नहीं तो चक्कर आ जाएंगे. पॉइंट नंबर 2, अमाउंट पेड टू मैनेजमेंट कंपनी फॉर कंसल्टेंसी टू रिड्यूस द वर्किंग एक्सपेंसेस कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर इफ द रिड्यूस वर्किंग एक्सपेंस विल जनरेट लॉन्ग टर्म बेनिफिट्स. देखो भाई, अगर लॉन्ग टर्म बेनिफिट मिल रहा है तो कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर है. अगर शॉर्ट टर्म बेनिफिट मिल रहा है और द बेनिफिट विच वी विल अवेल विद इन आर करंट ईयर ओनली, देन इट इज रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर. ओके, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर एंड रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर ऑल्सो वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन द मिसलेनियस सीरीज. ओके, नाउ it is true and you can write here. In that series, in that particular video, we have only discussed capital and revenue expenditure, okay, with so many capsules covering ICAI study materials also. Now we'll write the answer for this, and the amount is, the statement is true and we will write it. Amount paid, actually we have to write the exactly same thing only. There is no explanation for this, okay, because it is generating long term benefit, you can say it is the capital expenditure. Now, the additional commission to the consignee who agrees to bear the loss on account of bad debt. Very good. It means our consignee is telling that if there is any loss, whenever consignee is selling the goods, if there is any loss of bad debt, then they are saying it is called as overriding commission. Absolutely wrong. What is it called as? You all know that. Arey tell no baba. Sir, are you talking to us? Obviously you think I am talking to myself. False. The additional commission to the consignee who agrees to bear the loss is called as, we'll write here, del credere commission. अरे समझे क्या? अरे समझे कि नहीं? चलो. When there is no agreement among the partners, the profit or loss of the firm will be shared in the capital ratio. Obviously not. See, the sums are, the questions are now repeating, okay. It is not the capital ratio. We already know that according to Partnership Act, if there is no agreement, we have written this answer, in the absence of agreement to the contrary, profits and losses should be shared equally. Profits and losses should be shared equally among the partners. Simple. अरे simple छेने. चलो. When shares are forfeited, the share capital account is debited with called up capital, of shares forfeited, and the share forfeiture account is credited with calls in arrears of shares forfeited. Obviously it is wrong. Why? See, the entry, what entry do you pass when the shares are forfeited? You pass share capital account debit to share forfeiture to calls in arrears. Okay. What they are saying? They are saying is debited with called up capital of shares forfeited and the share forfeiture. They are saying that entry you must pass is share capital account debit, share forfeiture account debit, 2 calls in arrears. This is what our question is saying. Our question is saying that you should pass this entry. We have to tell our question, no sir, whatever you are saying is wrong, because this is our correct entry. Okay, this one is our correct entry. So we will write here that it is false when shares are forfeited, share capital account is debited, and share forfeiture and calls in arrears account is credited. Understood? Now next is May 2020. See, the first question we have here is, chalo, the question we have is expenses in connection with obtaining a license for running the cinema hall is revenue expenditure. No, see, it is not a revenue expenditure. The statement is false because expense in connection with obtaining a license for running the cinema hall is capital expenditure. Okay, because see, the cinema hall cannot be started without license, so license payment becomes the compulsory payment, and therefore you can say expense incurred to obtain license is compulsory, or you can say pre-operative expense. Pre-operative means भाई आप सिनेमा हॉल में ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट ही नहीं कर सकते, यू कैन नॉट स्टार्ट सिनेमा हॉल, ओके, मूवी वगैरह आप दिखा नहीं सकते, दैट्स व्हाट इज प्री ऑपरेटिव. मतलब टू स्टार्ट योर नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ ऑपरेशंस ऑफ द बिजनेस ऑफ सिनेमा हॉल द लाइसेंस इज मैंडेटरी, देयरफॉर द लाइसेंस एक्सपेंस इज प्री ऑपरेटिव. समझे? प्री ऑपरेटिव एक्सपेंस, that's why it is a capital expenditure. Next, reissue of forfeited share is allotment of shares but not sale. No, who told this? False, because a forfeited share is merely a share available to the company for sale and remains वेस्टेड विद कंपनी. अरे भाई फोरफिटेड का मतलब क्या है? कैंसिल्ड. ठीक है, कंपनी ने कुछ शेयर कैंसिल कर दिए. अब कंपनी के पास इतना अधिकार तो है, इतनी अथॉरिटी तो है कि भाई वापस रीसेल कर सके. वेस्टेड विद कंपनी, सो ऑब्वियसली इट इज अ सेल ओनली. सो रीइश्यू is not allotment but a sale, as they have already been allotted earlier. No, already been, भाई पहले किसी को अलॉट तो किया ही था, अब वो वहां से कैंसिल कर दिया तो अब अलॉटमेंट नहीं कहलाएगा, अब रीसेल ही कहलाएगा. ऑलरेडी बीन अलॉटेड अर्लियर. चलो उसके बाद, if the effect of errors committed cancel out, the errors will be called compensating errors and the trial balance will disagree. See, if the errors committed are cancelled out, they are saying the correct only, that the errors will be called compensating errors. But in the case of compensating errors, your trial balance will agree. That is the scenario with the trial balance, because the trial balance records only arithmetical accuracy. Understood? Now the statement is false because exactly same, if the effect of error cancel out, the error will be compensating error and the trial balance will agree. यही तो प्रॉब्लम है ट्रायल बैलेंस के साथ, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है जिसके लिए हम लोग रेक्टिफिकेशन ऑफ एरर्स पे इतना इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं. क्योंकि ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि हमने कोई गलती की, बट बिकॉज ट्रायल बैलेंस इज टेलिंग वी विल नेवर बी एबल टू फाइंड दैट मिस्टेक. अंडरस्टूड? चलो, देयर आर टू वेज ऑफ प्रिपेयरिंग एन अकाउंट करंट. Obviously not, because there are totally 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? First is with help of interest rate, then by means of products, third one is by means of products of balances. समझे, इसलिए वो स्टेटमेंट फॉल्स है. चलो, in case of consignment sale, ownership of goods will be transferred to consignee at the time of receiving the goods. Absolutely not. भाई बताओ कब ओनरशिप ट्रांसफर होती है कंसाइनी की? when the consignee has sold those goods to the third party. Okay, the statement is false, and you will write here, in consignment sale, ownership rests with कंसाइनर. ओनरशिप कंसाइनर के पास ही रहती है. कब तक? जब तक टिल दे आर सोल्ड बाय द कंसाइनी टू द थर्ड पार्टी. समझे? जब कंसाइनी फाइनली किसी को बेच देगा तब आप बोल सकते हो कि ओनरशिप ट्रांसफर हो गई. ठीक है, चलो याद रखो, कंसाइनी कभी भी ओनर बनता ही नहीं गुड्स का. कंसाइनी हमेशा एजेंट रहता है कंसाइनर का. ठीक है, क्यों? ओनरशिप तो कंसाइनर के पास ही रहेगी. अगर गुड्स बिक जाते हैं देन ओनरशिप विल बी डायरेक्टली ट्रांसफर टू द थर्ड पार्टी. सो कंसाइनी इज जस्ट एन एजेंट. ओके, point number 6, in case the due date of a bill falls after the date of closing the account. Okay, this is exactly same, we have discussed this so many times now. Limited liability partnership is governed by Indian Partnership Act 1932. Obviously not. See why? Because the provisions or the rules, you can say, the provisions of Indian Partnership Act 1932 shall not apply to limited liability partnership, because limited liability itself has an act. Okay, Limited Liability Act 2008 is applicable for them, is applicable for LLPs. समझे? चलो, after that next we have here is November 2020. See, November 2020, what were the questions in RTP? They are exactly same as May 2018. So I have not written that again. Okay, now we will write answers for July 2021. Check. Chalo bhai, first question is, Gauri purchased goods worth 75,800 at 5% trade discount and she paid half of the amount in cash. Very good. The amount appearing in the purchase book is 36,005. So we have to check whether it is correct or not. Remember, purchase book records only credit purchases. Okay, our total purchase is 75,800. So total purchase is 75,800. 5% discount will be 5%, 75,800 multiply by 5%. It will give you 5 8s are 40, 0 4, 25, 9 2 35, 3790. This is your discount, minus 3790. So it will be 010 and 72. This much is the amount we have to pay. So we have already paid half in cash. Half in cash means 36,005 we have paid in cash, and rest 36,005 is our credit purchase. So the credit purchase will appear in the purchase book, and that is what they are saying. The amount appearing in the purchase book is 36,005. That is absolutely correct. Okay, so you can say the trade discount should be deducted from total value of 75,800. Therefore, the amount of credit purchase should appear in the purchase book, and 36,005 is absolutely correct. Okay, all the personal and real accounts are recorded in P&L account. Obviously false. Why? Because personal and real accounts will appear in balance sheet. In P&L account only nominal accounts appear. Why? In P&L account, what do we record? Income and expenses. Income and expenses are nominal accounts. So you can write all the personal and real accounts are recorded in balance sheet and not in the P&L account. Okay? अरे भाई गलत है, P&L में नहीं लिखेंगे. चलो. अमाउंट स्पेंड ऑन द रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ वन आउट पार्ट ऑफ मशीन इज कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. अरे भाई एक रेगुलर रिपेयर है, सिर्फ एक वन आउट पार्ट, कोई पार्ट खराब हो गया मशीन का, सिर्फ उसको ठीक करवाया, दैट इज नॉट कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर. सो यू विल राइट हियर इट इज अ रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर सिंस इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ इट्स मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट. खाली मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट है, खाली जो चीज़ खराब हुई वही तो ठीक करवाई है, एफिशिएंसी तो नहीं बढ़ी ना मशीन की, तो फिर क्या. व्हेन क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री इज ओवरस्टेटेड नेट इनकम फॉर द अकाउंटिंग पीरियड विल बी अंडरस्टेटेड. अरे भाई देखो ये पूरी एक साइकिल है, ध्यान से समझो. ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट बनाए, ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में आपने यहाँ पर लिखा ओपनिंग स्टॉक 100, देन यू रोट योर, सपोज ओपनिंग स्टॉक प्लस परचेजेज यू हैव रिटन 100 and you have written here by sales 90, by closing stock 30, so you will write here 2 gross profit 20 rupees. Okay, and when you write here gross profit 20, some expenses 7 rupees and your net profit will be 13. Now what they are saying, okay, where is the question? They are saying when closing inventory is overstated, it means गलती से ज़्यादा लिख दिया हमने, तो closing stock instead of 30 suppose we have written 40. If this side is 40, so our gross profit is our balancing figure, so it will also increase 20 to 30. Understood? So if this is 30, this will also become 30, and if this is 30, our net profit will become 23. It means if closing stock is overstated, अगर गलती से ज़्यादा लिखा तो our net profit will also be overstated. Net profit भी ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. What they are saying, when closing stock is overstated, net income will be understated. Absolutely wrong. The statement is false, and we have understood the logic behind it also. So we'll write it, when closing inventory is overstated, net income for the accounting period will be overstated. अरे समझे कि नहीं समझे? चलो, और नहीं समझे तो वापस देखो. ठीक है, चलो. पॉइंट नंबर 5, द एडिशनल कमीशन टू द कंसाइनी हु अग्रीज. ये क्वेश्चन हम लोग कर चुके हैं. दिस इज नथिंग बट डेल क्रेडिटरी कमीशन. गुडविल इज इंटेंजिबल एसेट एंड देयरफॉर इट कैन नॉट बी वैल्यूड. क्यों भाई, इंटेंजिबल एसेट की कोई वैल्यू नहीं होती क्या? होती है ऑब्वियसली. एंड जस्ट टू टेल यू, AS 26 टॉक्स अबाउट दैट ओनली, वैल्यूएशन ऑफ इंटेंजिबल एसेट. ठीक है, सो दे कैन नॉट जस्ट इन वन स्टेटमेंट विल रिमूव एंटायर अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड. अरे भाई इंटेंजिबल एसेट हुआ तो क्या? सो यू विल राइट even though goodwill is intangible asset, it can be valued in terms of money. समझे? चलो उसके बाद क्या है? इंटरेस्ट ऑन कॉल्स इन अरियर इज पेएबल बाय कंपनी टू शेयर होल्डर. अरे बाबा कॉल्स इन अरियर्स है, कंपनी विल नॉट पे द इंटरेस्ट टू शेयर होल्डर, शेयर होल्डर पेज टू द कंपनी. द स्टेटमेंट इज फॉल्स बिकॉज इंटरेस्ट ऑन कॉल्स इन अरियर इज पेएबल बाय शेयर होल्डर्स टू कंपनी. अरे समझे क्या? अरे समझे कि नहीं समझे? चलो पॉइंट नंबर 8, आउटस्टैंडिंग सैलरी. अच्छा, आउटस्टैंडिंग सैलरी क्या होती है? लाइबिलिटी फॉर द प्रीवियस ईयर, पिछले साल की आउटस्टैंडिंग सैलरी है. शैल बी शोन एज लाइबिलिटी इन द करंट ईयर. है क्यों? वाई विल वी शो दिस एज लाइबिलिटी इन आवर करंट ईयर बैलेंस शीट? ऑब्वियसली नॉट. वी विल नॉट शो इन द करंट ईयर बैलेंस शीट. वेयर विल वी शो? फॉर द प्रीवियस ईयर बैलेंस शीट, और वी कैन से फॉर द ओपनिंग बैलेंस शीट ऑफ द करंट ईयर. अंडरस्टूड? Because there are obviously the closing balance sheet of the previous year is opening balance sheet of the current year. So the statement is false. You will write here, it shall be disclosed as current liability in opening balance sheet. Opening balance sheet. समझे? चलो डिबेंचर होल्डर एंजॉय द वोटिंग राइट्स इन द कंपनी, नहीं नहीं, shareholders enjoy the voting right, that too equity shareholder. Debenture holders will not enjoy voting right, they are getting interest now, so they will not get voting right. Understood? It is false. Debenture holders does not enjoy voting rights in the company. क्यों वोटिंग राइट नहीं मिलता? अरे भाई उसने सिर्फ पैसे उधार दिए हैं, ही इज जस्ट द क्रेडिटर ऑफ द कंपनी, एज ही इज द क्रेडिटर ऑफ अ कंपनी. पैसे उधार दिए, कंपनी का मालिक थोड़ी बना है. चलो, आफ्टर दिस वी हैव December 2021, check. A tally trial balance, this we have already done, same. The rationale behind the opening of suspense account is to tally the trial balance, this also we have discussed. Reducing balance method, again this also has been discussed. A partnership firm can acquire fixed assets in the name of the firm. See, पार्टनरशिप फर्म फिक्स्ड एसेट नहीं खरीद सकती अपने नाम पे, कंपनी खरीद सकती है, बिकॉज कंपनी इज एन आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन, इट हैज अ सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी. पार्टनरशिप फर्म की कोई लीगल एंटिटी नहीं है, सो इट इज फॉल्स. अ पार्टनरशिप फर्म कैन नॉट एक्वायर फिक्स्ड एसेट सिंस it is not a separate legal entity. It can acquire, what it can acquire, you can write it acquires. It acquires fixed asset in the name of its partners. पार्टनर के नाम पे ही खरीदना होगा, ठीक है. चलो उसके बाद outstanding salary for the previous year, we have discussed this. The financial statement already discussed. The debit note, this is also discussed. Bills receivable and bills payable books are types of subsidiary books, absolutely correct. You can just write true, bills receivable and bills payable are type of subsidiary books, okay. Then the result and position disclosed by financial accounts are not exact, this also we have already discussed. Now June 2022, the gain from sale of capital asset need not be added to revenue to ascertain the net profit of a business. क्यों भाई, क्यों ऐड नहीं करेंगे? ऐड तो करेंगे, करना है ऐड. Now June 2022, the gain from sale of capital asset need not be added to revenue to ascertain the net profit of the business. क्यों? क्योंकि this is not a normal course of business. अरे मैं मेरी बिल्डिंग बेच दूंगा क्या, मैं मेरी फैक्ट्री बेच दूंगा क्या? अगर मैं बेच रहा हूँ, दैट इज नॉट माई नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस. इफ सपोज आई एम इन द बिजनेस ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग शर्ट्स, सो शर्ट से बेचूंगा जो रेवेन्यू, दैट आई विल राइट एज सेल ऑफ गुड्स. अंडरस्टूड? गेन फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ कैपिटल असेट, इट इज नॉट, इट शुड नॉट बी एडेड इन द रेवेन्यू जस्ट टू फाइंड आउट कि भाई टोटल कितना नेट प्रॉफिट हुआ. वो मेरा धंधे से नेट प्रॉफिट नहीं कमाया. आई हैव नॉट अर्न दैट प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम माई बिजनेस, आई हैव अर्न दैट प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम माई सेलिंग ऑफ असेट्स. वो तो आई हैव टू परचेज अगेन न्यू कैपिटल असेट्स. अंडरस्टूड? So the statement is true, we'll write here. The gain need not be added to revenue to ascertain the net profit of a business. Why? Because since it has not been earned due to normal business ऑपरेशन. समझे? चलो, सेल ऑफ ऑफिस फर्नीचर शुड बी क्रेडिटेड टू प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट. अरे भाई क्यों? सेल ऑफिस फर्नीचर नो पास द जर्नल एंट्री. व्हाट विल बी द जर्नल एंट्री? बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट टू ऑफिस फर्नीचर. व्हाई विल यू क्रेडिट टू प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट? इट इज फॉल्स. सेल ऑफ ऑफिस फर्नीचर शुड बी क्रेडिटेड टू फर्नीचर अकाउंट. ठीक है. After that, the additional commission, how many times this question will come? Del credere. A partnership firm, this is also same. Debenture holder, this is also same. If you can see, there are many repetitive questions in every RTP also. Okay. December 2022, see. The financial statement disclose all this is same we have discussed. Debit note discussed. Bank reconciliation discussed. Now point number D we have, if closing stock appears in the trial balance, it is appearing in the trial balance, then the closing inventory is not entered in trading account, it is shown only in the balance sheet. This also we have discussed. Okay, now depreciation is a non-cash expense and does not result in any cash outflow. Absolutely correct. Remember, depreciation का मतलब क्या होता है, मेरे मशीन की वैल्यू कम हो गई, ठीक है, बिकॉज आई एम यूजिंग माई मशीनरी, माई फिक्स्ड एसेट कंटिन्यूसली, सो the value of it is reducing, that means it is a non-cash expense. True, you can write here that depreciation is a non-cash expenditure, and unlike other expense like wages, rent, it does not result in कैश आउट। अरे भाई किसी को पैसे थोड़ी ना दिए हैं, मशीन की वैल्यू कम हुई है। चलो, डिस्काउंट एट द टाइम, दिस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड। इन केस द ड्यू डेट ऑफ रेडिंग इंटरेस्ट डिस्कस्ड। अ विड्रॉल ऑफ कैश, दिस इज अगेन द ड्रॉइंग्स थिंग, दिस ऑल्सो वी हैव डिस्कस्ड। पार्टनर्स कैन शेयर पी एंड एल इन देयर कैपिटल रेशियो, नो, इट शुड बी इक्वल रेशियो। फीस रिसीव्ड फॉर लाइफ मेंबरशिप इज अ revenue receipt as it is of recurring nature. No, see, they are saying fees receipt is for life membership. Okay, so if it is for life membership, why it is revenue receipt? It is one time fees, so it is a capital receipt. You will write here, life membership fees received is a capital receipt as it is of non recurring nature. अरे समझे, चल। डिबेंचर इंटरेस्ट is payable after the payment of discussed. Then June 2023. Check. What is the first question? This is the most recent RTP. Okay. Prior period item need not be separately disclosed in the current statement of profit and loss. The entire focus of prior period itself is that we need a separately disclosure. Okay. So the statement is false because PPI should be separately disclosed in the current statement of profit and loss with the nature and amount in a manner that their impact on current profit can be seen, or you can say can be perceived. भाई पता तो चलना चाहिए प्रायर पीरियड आइटम के कारण कितना इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है मेरे करंट ईयर के प्रॉफिट पे, समझे? द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वी हैव हियर इज सैलरी पेड इन एडवांस, डिस्कस्ड ऑलरेडी. If the effect of error is also discussed, the sale value of byproduct is credited to the trading account. See, this is important. It is never credited to the trading account. Okay, why? See, the sale value of byproduct is credited to manufacturing account. So as to reduce to that extent the cost of manufacturing of final product, or you can say the main product. भाई ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में प्रॉफिट जैसे नहीं लिखते हैं बाय प्रोडक्ट की सेल को, बाय प्रोडक्ट से जो भी पैसे कमाए वो मेन प्रोडक्ट की कॉस्ट में से माइनस कर लो, ठीक है? बहुत नॉमिनल सा अमाउंट होता है, ज़्यादा बड़ा अमाउंट होता नहीं है, तो हम लोग कॉस्ट में से माइनस कर देते हैं. नेक्स्ट, इन केस ऑफ कंसाइनमेंट ओनरशिप इज ऑलरेडी डिस्कस, प्रॉब्लम ऑफ रेड इंक डिस्कस. Red ink, I think it is the favorite question of ICAI. Net income in case of person practicing vocation is already discussed. Listed company means a company which has its securities only listed with National Stock Exchange. See, there is no some mandatory rule like that. It is false because as per section 2 subsection 52 of Companies Act 2013, listed company means a company which has any of its securities listed on recognized stock exchange. समझे? अरे कोई भी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में अगर लिखा है बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में भी है तो भी इट इज़ अ लिस्टेड कंपनी ओनली. नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज इकलौता मालिक नहीं है भाई. चलो, पार्टनर्स कैन शेयर प्रॉफिट और लॉस इन देयर कैपिटल रेशियो व्हेन देयर इज नो. अरे नहीं भाई, इट शुड बी इक्वल रेशियो. They are not putting effort, I think, in new questions. Now, these were your RTP from your 2018 to 2023. Now we will discuss few questions from few of the mock test papers. Okay, check. The concept of conservatism when applied to the balance sheet results in understatement of assets. See, it is obviously true. You can say conservatism states that the accountant, or you can say the entity, should not anticipate फ्यूचर इनकम. समझे? देखो, कंजर्वेटिज्म या फिर आप कह सकते हो कंसेप्ट ऑफ प्रूडेंस क्या बोलता है? यू शुड नेवर एंटिसिपेट फ्यूचर इनकम बट यू शुड ऑलवेज अकाउंट फॉर फ्यूचर प्रोबेबल लॉसेस. समझे? दैट्स वाई यू कैन से दैट इट इज रिजल्टिंग इन द अंडरस्टेटमेंट ऑफ असेट्स. बात समझ में आ गई? चलो, reducing balance method is already discussed. Discount at the time is discussed. Next we have is, if individual life policies are taken in the name of partners and premium is paid from the firm, then retiring partners are entitled to surrender value of his policy only. No, no, no. See, understand this. The statement is false because he is entitled to the surrender value of all the policies. All partners policy. ठीक है, तो you will write the same statement if partners from here to surrender value of all the partners policy. All the partners policy. सिर्फ खुद की पॉलिसी का सरेंडर वैल्यू नहीं मिलेगा, सारे पार्टनर्स की पॉलिसी का सरेंडर वैल्यू मिलेगा. क्यों? बिकॉज प्रीमियम हैज बीन पेड बाय द फर्म. ओके, नाउ when shares are forfeited, this we have discussed. Goods worth 600 should be credited, this also we have discussed. November 21, check. Amount spent for the construction of temporary huts which were necessary for the construction of cinema house and were demolished when the cinema house was ready and is capital expenditure. It is absolutely correct. See, whenever we are constructing any house, any building or any cinema house also, obviously the laborers will stay there only, so they prepare some temporary huts. So that expenditure, if they undertake to construct cinema house only, that's why it is a capital expenditure. So you will write it is true, since the temporary huts were necessary for the construction, their cost should be added to cost of cinema hall. Then finished goods are normally valued at cost or market price, whichever is not whichever is higher, whichever is lower. Okay, so you can write here the statement is false. The additional commission, how many times will it come? Del Credere commission. The firm will receive surrender value of the joint life policy on the death of the partner. It is false because the firm will receive full value of the joint life policy on the death of the partner. Okay, it is not only the surrender value. After that, where a non-profit organization separate trading activity, the P&L from the trading account shall be transferred to income expenditure account at the time of consolidation. Absolutely correct. You can write here, it is true when in case of trading activity for NPO, non-profit organization, the profit or loss from such activity is to be transferred to income and expenditure account at the time of consolidation. Understood? Chalo, after that it says capital plus long term liability is equal to fixed asset, current asset plus cash minus current liability. Oh my god, see, they have added cash again, but cash will already be appearing in the current asset. No, so cash is appearing twice in this equation, so it is false because the right hand side of equation includes cash twice, once as a part of current asset. अरे भाई current asset के अंदर तो already cash है ना, as a part of current asset, and another separately. The basic accounting equation you can write here, which is equity plus long term liability is equal to fixed assets plus current assets माइनस करंट लाइबिलिटी. समझे? पूरा पूरा लिखना, मैं शॉर्ट फॉर्म लिख रहा हूँ, तुम लोग शॉर्ट फॉर्म मत लिखना. चलो, नाउ December 2022. The first question we have is prior period item need not be separate. Okay, we have discussed this. Capital, this is also discussed. Sale value of the byproduct discussed. Discount is discussed. If a partner retires, then other partner have a gain in their profit sharing ratio. Obviously, it is true. You can write here. If a partner retires, his share of profit will be shared by other partners in their PSR. This we already know. Whenever we are doing sums for retirement of partnership, there we will obviously, the people or the partner continuing will gain. Okay. Then net income in case of vocation, we have discussed this. If the effect of error is discussed. Accrual concept implies accounting on cash basis. No, this is also we have discussed. It shows accounting on due basis. Consignment account is of the nature of real account. No, it is nominal cum personal. Okay. You can write nominal account also, nominal cum personal also. Both are correct. Chal. After that, in case the due date of a bill, this is also we have discussed. When there is no partnership deed prevailing, the interest on loan of a partner to be paid is 6%. Absolutely correct. Now, in the entire partnership, there is only one place where they have given the interest rate. Okay, that is the interest on loan of a partner. Because the partner must get at least 6% interest from the firm. Remember this, firm has to compulsorily pay 6% interest, not on capital, only on loan. Okay, it is true. When there is no partnership deed prevailing, then you can write, then the provision of Indian Partnership Act are to be applied for settling the dispute. Interest on loan is payable at 6% as per Indian Partnership Act. समझे क्या? चलो, when shares are forfeited, this we have already discussed. After this, June 23, the most recent mock test paper we have here is, chalo, the first question is the concept of conservatism when applied. This we have discussed. Amount spent on temporary huts is also done. Current account and account current are one and the same. Array, if they were the same only, why will they have different names? They are absolutely not one and the same, and we will write the answer here. Account current statement is running transaction between two parties to ascertain the amount payable along with their interest. But a current account is an account type to be maintained with the bank. Okay, this is the difference between both. Magic, no? Yeah, magic only. Chalo. In case of due date, how many times will they say this? On death of a partner, the firm gets not the surrender value, full value of the joint policy. We have already seen this also. Company A is incurring huge losses, okay. The board of directors are of the opinion that in case of losses, there is no need to pay interest on debenture holders. See, I tell you one thing. Debenture holders are almost the people of bank only. Like, you have to pay interest whatever is happening in your family, okay. So you will write here, it is false even if the company incurs losses, it has to pay interest on debentures. Now, debenture holders are not concerned with profits and losses. अरे उन्हें कुछ फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता तुम पैसे कमा रहे हो नहीं कमा रहे हो, प्रॉफिट है लॉस है, they don't care. They are saying pay my money, pay my interest, okay, with profit and losses of the company. The interest is to be paid to debenture holders at fixed rate on debenture, okay, on face value of debentures. बात समझ में आ गई? चलो, these were your RTPs and MTPs relating to means last 2, 3 years, 4 years, majority of the questions we have covered, okay. Please take the printout, and I'm telling you again, if you have just seen the video and you have not written the answers, please write the answers. Thank you so much.